Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a full face of dupes, and what I'm basically going to be doing in this video is doing one side of my face using lots of expensive but very popular makeup products to create this look, and then I'm going to be recreating it using as close duplicates of each product as possible on the other side of my face. The aim of the game for this look is to basically show you that you don't need to spend a bomb to create an amazing makeup look. You can find dupes. So one side is very expensive and the other side can save up to or over £200. So if you would like to see the dupes that I came up with, then just keep on watching. So we're going to get started off with foundation, and on my left side I am using the MAC Studio Fix Fluid, and on the right side I am using the L'Oreal 24-Hour Infallible Foundation, and these two products are almost exactly the same. They feel very similar. I feel like the L'Oreal one feels a little bit lighter on the skin, although they both give a really full coverage and it's totally matte. It dries to a matte finish. Also, the MAC one, the color I have is in NC40 and it's just super yellow, like you can just see now as well. It has just a total yellow undertone, but apart from that, these are almost identical in formula and I love them both. On the high-end side of my face, I am using the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and then on the other side, I am using the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. Now, I was trying desperately to find a dupe for the NARS one because it's one of my favorite concealers, and when I was looking through my drugstore and affordable concealers, I noticed that these almost have an identical formula. The only difference is, in my opinion, is that the NARS has a little bit more of a matte finish. Although it does say Radiant in the title, I just feel that it has a little bit of a drier consistency, not in a bad way at all, but the Maybelline one has a little bit more radiance to it. And yeah, when you blend them in, they look almost the same. The colors that I have are almost the same. I'm blending out that concealer using the same brush I used to blend out my foundation, and by the way, just wanted to let you know, between sides when I use the same brush, I am wiping off the product just so that it's a fair test and I don't transfer any product from the other side to each side. Basically, I want it to be as even as possible, but I wanted to use the same brushes so that I could see exactly how the product was working, and I just went ahead and applied some concealer on my lids as well. And to set my face, I am using the MAC CC Neutralize Loose Powder on the left side and my Soap & Glory Instant Retouch Powder on the other. Apart from the fact that the MAC one is loose, these have almost an identical formula. Personally, I prefer the Instant Retouch Powder, but they both have a yellow undertone and are basically translucent, and they set your face flawlessly. For my brows, I am using my go-to Brow Wiz by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and then on the dupe side, I am using the Soap & Glory Brow Archery Pencil. Now, as you can see me using right now, the Soap & Glory pencil, it is almost identical to the Brow Wiz. The actual shape of the actual pencil is exactly the same. It has a spoolie on one side and then the pencil in a retractable form on the other side, and it just fills in the brows exactly the same. The only difference is that the Brow Wiz is a little bit softer in formula and it's a little bit waxier. Apart from that, they look exactly the same and you wouldn't tell the difference considering the price difference. Next, I'm just going to be using some concealer to carve underneath my eyebrows, and I'm going to be using the Kiko Full Coverage Concealer first of all on the dupe side, and then the MAC Studio Finish Concealer on the other. I have the Studio Finish in a palette, but they do come separately, and these are almost exactly the same in formula. They are full coverage, they have a matte finish, and they are just exactly the same. I don't have any dupes for my Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. It's the only clear brow gel I actually have right now, so I just went ahead and went through my brows with this. Moving on to the eyes, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette on the left side, and on the dupe side, I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Salted Caramel palette. There is a dupe for every single color in the palette, and I love this dupe. I'm first of all going to be taking the Peanut Butter color and applying that, of course, to the high-end side. In this test, you can really see the difference between the two palettes, how well each one blends, and just the differences in the pigmentation of each palette as well. So obviously on the expensive side, the Too Faced palette is amazing and I would highly recommend it to anyone. But on the flip side, if you are not willing to pay almost £40 for a palette, the other palette is almost identical. It is amazing. The only difference is that some colors do vary, some colors aren't as pigmented, some colors don't blend as well. I mean, honestly, that is gonna happen considering how cheap this palette is. Although I would say that the Too Faced palette blends a lot easier, but some colors in the Makeup Revolution palette are actually more pigmented. This dark brown shade actually was really hard to blend from the Makeup Revolution palette, but still, it doesn't matter. It's okay. It's only £7.99, which is incredible. I'm next just applying this Butter Pecan colour from the Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette, and of course applying it to the left side. And then after this I took the identical colour from the Makeup Revolution palette and applied it to the other side. I definitely realised that it made the Too Faced palette look dull. It's very strange. When I apply it, I'm cleaning my brush of course, when I apply it you can definitely see how much more pigmented it is. I mean, personally, this colour from the palette I prefer. I actually think in a lot of ways I was preferring the Makeup Revolution palette because it just made my eyes look a lot more pigmented, but like I said, the Too Faced side definitely blended a lot easier. Next, for liner, I am taking some MAC Black Track Gel Liner on the high-end side, and my dupe is the e.l.f. Gel Liner. Now, Black Track is definitely a favourite for a lot of makeup artists. A lot of makeup artists use it on other people. I love to use this on other people, but in my opinion, it's a really nice soft liner that just glides, but it's not black enough. And in my opinion, the e.l.f. Gel Liner is the same as Black Track. It's just as creamy. It dries almost identically in the fact that it dries to a matte finish, but it is almost twice as dark. It makes the other one look like an off black. So I definitely prefer the e.l.f. one in this case. For lashes, I am taking my House of Lashes Iconic Lashes, and my dupe for this is the Cocoa Goddess Lashes. Now, both of these can't be bought in the UK, they have to be bought online from a US store, and the difference between the two lashes is that the Iconic Lashes are a lot stiffer and the Cocoa Lashes are a lot wispier. I honestly love these both. They look almost identical, but the Cocoa Lashes feel a lot lighter on the eye. Next, I'm just going to be filling in my waterline. On the expensive side, I'm using my MAC Pro Longwear pencil, and then on the other side, I am using my Rimmel Scandalized pencil. The MAC one isn't as black, but it lasts a lot longer, and then the Scandalized one from Rimmel is a lot darker, as you can see, but it doesn't last as long as the MAC one. I'm also just going ahead and taking this frosting colour from the Chocolate Bar palette and applying it to the bottom lash line, and then of course taking the similar colour from the Makeup Revolution palette and applying it on the other side. I definitely felt like the Too Faced colour in the palette was a lot more pigmented. I had to really apply a lot from the Makeup Revolution. Personally, I use a lot of drugstore mascaras, so this mascara that I'm using now is probably the only expensive one I have. It's from MAC, and then a very similar one to this is from BH Cosmetics. It's the Long Sexy Lashes mascara, and I actually prefer the BH Cosmetics one because it doesn't transfer onto my concealer, but the MAC one does. Now for bronzer, I am taking the Bobbi Brown bronzer in Golden Light, and for my dupe for this, I am using the Body Shop Honey bronzer. These two are almost identical in colour, but the only difference is that the Body Shop one isn't as pigmented. Now when you see me apply the Bobbi Brown one now, you can see that almost instantly a lot more pigment does come out, but apart from that, considering the price, it is definitely almost identical. For contour, I am taking the MAC Sculpt Powder, which I love, and then I'm taking the Makeup Geek Infidelity Contour Pan. Now, the Makeup Geek one is a lot more cooler, but it's the closest colour that I think I have to the Sculpt one. It's a really nice matte powder that is very pigmented, and you don't need a lot of it. But as for the MAC one, I feel like it is pigmented, but I feel like to get a really strong contour, it's kind of like you need to build it up a little bit more. For blush, I am taking MAC Warm Soul on the expensive side, and then on the cheaper side, I am taking the Makeup Revolution Heart Blush, and these heart blushes are actually a huge dupe for the Too Faced ones, but I actually don't own any of those. Warm Soul is one of my favourite blushes, and it just gives the most gorgeous glow, and I feel like this particular colour that I will have listed down below is almost identical. For highlight, I'm taking one of my favorite highlights. This is the So Hollywood Anastasia Beverly Hills Illuminator, and for the dupe side, I am taking an eyeshadow from Kiko, which is a very well-known one as well. As you can see, the Anastasia one gives an instant strong glow, which I love, but the Kiko one gives the same color. It has that same gorgeous white gold highlight, but you do need to build it up a little bit more. But apart from that, considering the price, I mean, you can't go wrong. And finally, for lips, on the expensive side, I am taking a cult favorite. This is MAC Wow Lip Pencil, and I'm applying it all over the lips, so I'm just lining the lips and applying it all over. And then my dupe for this is actually not a total dupe, like it's slightly different, but I personally prefer the dupe side. It's one of my favorite lip liners I own. This is the Kiko Automatic Lip Pencil in 504, and it's almost the same mauve shade. The MAC one is a little bit pinkier, and of course it's a retractable pencil, so it has a little bit of a different formula. But apart from that, it's one of the closest dupes I've ever had to Wow Lip Pencil. For the lipstick, on the expensive side, I definitely did go very expensive. This is a luxury lipstick. This is Tom Ford Blush Nude, and I think this is one of the most popular Tom Ford lipsticks. And then to dupe that, I am using the Rimmel Kate Nude lipstick in the shade 42, and these are almost identical. I think they are just slightly different, just very, very slightly, but it's pretty much exactly the same. So guys, that is the end of this video. As you can see, the difference from the left to the right is pretty much, you can't really tell the difference. I mean, this is the price difference. It's pretty crazy how much you could actually save by this video, and I loved making this dupe video, so let me know if you want me to make a version 2 of this, because I have a ton more dupes and I love showing them on the face instead of just telling you guys dupes. So if you did enjoy this video, please like and share with your friends and subscribe to my channel for more if you haven't already. I love you guys so much. I can't wait to see you all in my next video, and I will talk to you later. Bye guys!